What is up, everybody? I'm pretty sure I'm live now. You know what that means. It definitely means I'm live. Because as I've mentioned previously, there are 2 people following this channel, or 2 subscribers to this channel, and both of them are me, just on different channels. So if you want to follow me, I'd appreciate that. Or subscribe, whatever it is you're doing on YouTube. I also don't really care. This is like kind of like my diary. Which is kind of like what my Tumblr is, so if you follow me on either of these, I guess that's what you get. Yeah. Anyway, I guess I'll update you guys. I'm feeling better today. I wasn't feeling great yesterday, which is why it's a pretty short live stream. Oh, I just realized I forgot to, can I? I don't think I can, so I'm just gonna not. Sorry, you guys got a bad quality video today. Anyway, I wasn't feeling great yesterday, and I wasn't feeling great this morning, but I feel a lot better now. I'm pretty sure it was because I wasn't eating great in the past few days. I ate better today, a little bit. Yeah. So I wanted to update you guys on the Patreon. The Patreon, what's it called? Page? The YouTube channel, not even the Patreon. Just the YouTube channel. And what I've been doing on there. So in the past couple of days, I've posted, in the past few days, pretty much this week, excuse me, I posted the new intro video, because I made a new one. I had an old one up, it was like a year ago, because that's how long I've been sort of wanting to make this channel. So I made this new intro video. I've recently shared that, and I'm working on the scripts for the first few videos that I'm going to publish. I've already finished the script for one of the videos I mentioned that last time, yesterday. And I've started the one for the first video. Hopefully I'll finish it tomorrow. It shouldn't be too hard. Most of it, it's going to be a map, like I mentioned last time. So most of it should be pretty short, like pretty easy. Most of it will just be like me talking while I'm making the map. It's going to be a map of like the field of linguistics. So the scientific field and like the branches and like what are the different parts of linguistics. Yeah. What else? I guess I had already told you guys that part. I mentioned the poll also. I published a poll, so if you guys want to vote on that. It's actually, I think, only available for my $1 a month subscribers, so you would need to do that if you want to participate in this, and if you want to help me choose what the next videos are going to be about. But I'm excited. I'm excited for making the next video. I'm excited to... I don't want better recording equipment. But that's what the Patreon's for. So hopefully that'll work out. I'm trying to think of like what other things I want to do on this channel. I feel like I can do relatively funny things. We'll see. We'll see what I can do. But for now, sorry. But for now, one thing that I was considering is uploading cover videos. So if you guys have recommendations, I don't really know what to say. I guess we're supposed to pick things that you like. So I have a few things in mind, I guess. I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing right now with my hair. I don't know what's going on. I apologize. I've literally considered like making a video of me eating like lettuce. Like today, I was eating some lettuce, like a thing of lettuce. It was like romaine lettuce, so it's longer, not like iceberg, so not like spherical. But I was eating that, and I was like, wow. I wonder if people would watch me eat this. Like, I'm eating this in a kind of weird way. I feel like the internet would enjoy it. But then also I was like, do I really want to do that? Do I want to be known on the internet as the guy that's eating lettuce? That guy that eats lettuce. Like that. I don't think that's what I want to do. So maybe some other kind of videos will go on here soon. But for now, it's just, I guess, this like diary thing that I'm doing. Unclear what exactly it is that I'm even doing, because it kind of feels like I'm just stalling or like filling time. I mean, I did have that goal of being like, really active, and so that's a large part of why I'm online right now. I have like hella things. I have a to-do list, and it has like, here, I'm gonna count. So I've separated the to-do list into 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 4 separate categories. Things that I need to do eventually, things that I need to do soon, things that I need to do ASAP, and things that I should always be doing, or at least always be in the back of my mind. Currently, all that's there is self-care, eat, and clean. Broadly considered cleaning, including cleaning myself. Well, I guess I can open up a little bit about mental illness. I'll do that in a later video. Cool. So, and then some other stuff's ASAP. Oh, I need to talk to my father about when I'm going to Columbia. In theory, that should be like pretty soon. So I'm gonna talk to him about that. And then I was considering submitting my honors thesis. So I just graduated. I think I had mentioned that. So my honors thesis was something that I was considering submitting to present at a conference in California, in SoCal. I think it was at UCLA maybe. But I'm reconsidering it now because they were saying that like that we would be responsible for our own travel expenses and everything, and I think I'd rather apply to a conference where they pay for me to go. Because I've already done that, and it was really convenient. It was really nice. Thanks, Stanford, for funding me. Sorry. And then I've got a whole list of things that I need to do for the Language Corner channel, including start. Well, I guess at this point it's finished. Finish the first video. Start the second video. Finish the third video, because I've already started it. I started it and finished the script and then decided that I wanted it to be not the first episode because well, I think mostly because I want the map of linguistics video to be my first video. I think that's a good video to start off that channel with because it broadly explains what linguistics is before I get into more controversial things, I guess. If you are a patron on Patreon, you would get a sneak peek at what that video, the third video, is going to be about. But to give you guys a smaller sneak peek, right now, it's going to be on the history of the dialect of English that is spoken by the biggest minority in the United States. I'm pretty sure that would be the minority. And anyway, so the historical relationship that dialect of English has with the Englishes of the Caribbean, with the Englishes of West Africa, with the Englishes of the Pacific, and what that tells us, or I'm not sure necessarily I touch on in that video about what that tells us about language or what that tells us about language history or anything like that. I think it's almost exclusively just a video about the context for that variety of speech. I hope you guys are excited about that because I am. Again, I realize I'm not talking to anyone, but it'll be fun one day when I have actual followers, subscribers on this channel, and people watch it, like, LOL, we're watching it now. And now you're watching me brush my hair. Okay, anyway. Yikes. So there's a ton of other things that I mentioned that I want to do. Okay, so some of the other things, future plans, that I want to be doing. I'm really interested in starting a website, starting a language learning website. The problem that I'm having is that, well, I feel like finances are the problem. And money is the problem. But that's a topic for another video, I guess. I want to make this language learning website, and I want it to be focused. I want it to be built for speakers of endangered languages. I want to create a community. Well, okay, so I want to take a step back because it didn't really stem. It feels really personal for me, and I don't speak an endangered language, and I'm not culturally really tied super closely to any endangered languages. I mean, I identify as Misty, so I actually don't really know what my ethnic origins really are. One of my grandparents, the only one that's still alive, is question mark potentially fully European. She looks pretty European, but I don't look that European. My dad definitely is not mostly European. So yeah, in that sense, it sort of stems indirectly from my personal life. But really, the idea came from being kind of an immigrant in this country. I guess you guys listen to me, and I probably sound like a native English speaker, because I've lived here for most of my life, and I was born here, or whatever. I was born in New Jersey, but pretty quickly after being born, my mom went back to Colombia. My dad was living there at the time. They were married there. Even though they met here in New Jersey, I think they met like when my mom was in college. They got married in Colombia. They, were living in Colombia. I was born in New Jersey because my mom was already an American citizen. My grandma was living here. A ton of my family was living here. My mom knew that she wanted to come here for my education, which I absolutely, think is a fantastic thing. But I identify kind of as an immigrant, right? And like, even though my mom is an immigrant in a sense, my grandma's also an immigrant in a sense because she's the one that moved here. I mean, like I mentioned, she lives here, right? So the fact that my mom lives here and the fact that my grandma lives here doesn't really, I feel like, negate my personal experience as an immigrant, because I do still kind of feel like an immigrant. It feels like I'm a third generation immigrant. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to say that, but it feels like I do have a foot in both cultures, even though I've lived most of my life in Colombia. I've lived most of my life outside of Colombia. But I also have family there. So my dad lives there. I have 4 half siblings that live there, etc. So I guess to get back to the language on the website, it is personal to me because what I want to create is a space on the internet that is not dominated by English, Japanese, Portuguese, Russian, French, German, the really big ones. The truly global, or truly, I guess in the 21st century, truly still empire languages, like the English Empire the British Empire doesn't really still exist. The American Empire is kind of a thing, but not really. It's not called that, at least. Excuse me. Russian, similar. Same with Portuguese. In theory, Portuguese and Spanish. The reason yeah, it's because Brazil. Brazil is just a bigger country. Bigger in terms of population. I'm pretty sure I'm actually, don't quote me on all. It's because I'm actually not sure about their GDP. If you guys comment down in the comment section, tell me about this. I would love to learn more. That being said, I can also use Google. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is I would like to not be forced to use English. And I would like to not even have to use Spanish. To a certain degree, I have some thoughts about Spanish being kind of my heritage language. And the fact that it's probably not exactly, I mean, it's obviously my heritage language because I speak it. And my parents speak it, my grandparents speak it, etc. But I'm fairly certain that as mestizo, I have connections to other groups And I, in a sense, feel orphaned by that, right? Because I don't have that connection. I don't know who they are, um, but I still want to help, and I still want to reconnect with them. And my way of doing that is by trying to learn the language, trying to honor the culture as best and the history as best I can. By trying to learn the language and the history and honoring the culture as best I can. The problem is that it's sort of hard to do that on the internet, and it's sort of hard when there's like somewhere around 7,000 languages that are currently spoken, and a lot of them are predicted to go extinct, to stop being spoken. The thing is, there's a lot of documentation and a lot of, well, now with the technology that we have, you can record, you can do a ton of things that you couldn't have done before. But I think the most powerful thing is the internet, hands down. The fact that you can create and carve out this space for yourself, and create communities, and it's just the internet is powerful, unlike anything else really. And so I'm excited to try to make a language learning website that would be dedicated towards creating a space, creating an environment that would not be just for learning that language, but for staying immersed in it. It would have a partial like social media aspect where you could share things in the language, talk to people, engage with people in the language. It would have like certain aspects of that like Facebook has with groups and communities and things like that. So you connect things. One thing that would be super important in terms of privacy with indigenous communities and access and making sure that only the right people have. I'm taking my drugs right now. Sorry, I forgot to take them earlier and I just saw them and I remembered. So I'm going to take a second to do that before I forget. Don't mind the giant pitcher full of water. Anyway, so the idea would be to ensure privacy for these communities because it's super important for them to retain control over who can use the language. And a lot of these communities, so while I was at Stanford, made sure to study a lot of these underrepresented languages, and not just the languages, but I wanted to really get a feel for what was important for these language teachers, for these linguistic culture, these linguistic groups, and the cultures themselves, right? So I've met Native American, I've met Native American people who come from cultures that, for example, don't want their language to be written. It's just, for them, their language is oral. And I mean, obviously, I'm talking to you by, like, grabbing around my tongue, so, like, speech is oral, right? And so what they want to preserve in their culture is that oral tradition. They feel that it's something very powerful and that you connect with your ancestors, and it's not the same if you have text and you're trying to learn it from a book or something. And in other cultures, for example, some Aboriginal Australians I didn't mention, so in that culture, it's from this specific pueblo in New Mexico. In some Aboriginal cultures, it's really, so I'm not the most knowledgeable about these things, but I try to know a little bit about them. So if I'm not correct, there is a taboo against, I don't know if it's seeing or hearing the voice of someone who already is deceased, or I'm not entirely sure what it is, but essentially what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of cultural intricacies, and you have to pay attention to those things when you're trying to teach an endangered language, and you have to make sure that you're not, doing the kind of thing that maybe Duolingo is doing, where you have just full access for anyone who wants to learn the language. Because a lot of these communities are really concerned about who's going to use it, how are they going to use it, what they're using it, in. For example, I had my Lakota professor. Lakota is a Native American language spoken in the Dakotas currently. And my Lakota professor, she told me that she had once reached out to her. she once had someone reach out to her and ask her if she could translate some stuff for a book that she was writing, that the person was writing. Sorry. Um, and my Lakota professor said no. She said that that's the kind of project that oftentimes Native Americans don't want to participate in. They don't want to participate in these things where they become kind of a token. They become separated, and their language really gets taken out of the context that it's for them that it's meant to be in. But more than that, it's a matter of cultural appropriation. It's a matter of these people being denied the right to have this. If you guys don't know about the Native American boarding school situation that went on in Canada and the US and I think Australia, you guys should definitely look into that. It's wild. It makes me so angry. You have no idea. The fact that these people were literally, they were stolen. They were stolen from their homes as children and forced to go to these schools where they would be beaten if they spoke their language and not English. And it's just like thinking about that makes me so angry as someone who really cares about cultural and linguistic diversity. But anyway, lost my train of thought. Wow, I've been recording for like 20 minutes. This one's really long. I should really cut it short. The point that I'm trying to say is I really want to start this, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I really care about it, but I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know what I'm doing. Conclusion, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna go keep working on that other video and probably go to sleep soon. It's past 11 already. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. I'm definitely forgetting something that I want to mention. Let me check the to-do list. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway. I think, so I accidentally, left the low quality video recording setting on, because the software that I'm using is low-key bad. Maybe I should start live streaming from my whole device. I'm currently streaming from my Mac. And I was trying to do it from my phone, but I need 100 subscribers. I hate how we call these things different things. I need 100 subscribers, and clearly that's not going to happen anytime soon. Unless I do something really funny and go viral, but I got that. So, I'm going to end this video here. I might stream from that other device, from my tablet, at a later date. I said Tate instead of date. I might live stream from that other device at a later date. I'll see you guys later. I think I'm tired. Wait. Sorry, headphones. Right. See you guys later. Stay curious. Stay humble.